Hello there and welcome to the next edition of a late night Scream Review. This week we're looking at the last two episodes of Netflix's TV series, Wednesday.
Not a huge fan of enclosed spaces. I'm claustrophobic.
If you hear me screaming bloody murder, there's a good chance I'm just enjoying myself.
So here we are at the culmination of the whole event of Wednesday, the TV show on Netflix. Who'd have thought it? So, what did I think overall of the show? Well, just a very quick summation. I think from the very first episode, I was very kind of like nervous about the show. I'm a massive Addams Family fan, always have been, even from the old black and white TV show. And I was kind of worried about this one. So, I felt like the TV show sets itself in a universe that is basically Hogwarts for adults. And I wasn't a really big fan of that. The premise, the setup just didn't work for me. Now, in terms of the character of Wednesday, played by Jenna Ortega, brilliantly, by the way, I loved. You know, it's Wednesday, but a few years on from arguably from the films, and she's older, she's a bit wiser, she's got a bit more of a chip on her shoulder. Loved it all. I loved all that. It was brilliant. The interactions between the family. I loved every time the Addams Family popped back into the show. I thought it was fantastic. I loved some of the interactions between certain characters and others with Wednesday. I thought it was like fun dialogue and entertaining to watch. I liked the kind of more darker, slightly gory. You know, we see some blood in this show. You know, I really liked all that. So there's loads of little gems of gold to mine from this TV show. It's not a complete failure in my point of view. Having said that, everything else, so the premise, this kind of setting, the kind of the big bad at the end and what it all means, I just felt it was a massive kind of letdown, really. It's just stereotypical Netflix fare, or streaming fare, I should say, probably. So, you know, very much a Riverdale scenario, you know, very much kind of just Hogwarts for adults. It just kind of didn't do anything for me, and it didn't do anything different with the premise. So, you know, there's a boarding school and it's full of different students with like werewolf kids and vampire kids and banshee kids, and they're all kind of having to get together, and then there's these mysteries and these things happening outside, and there's the little town just outside of the school, and it's how that all kind of goes down. And nothing was done differently here than I've seen 100 times in other shows and other movies. And I think that's the real shame of Wednesday, because it's beautifully shot, you know, it's beautifully well acted, the casting's great, and again, there's some really lovely little bits, but just overall as a show, it left me wanting, and I was just kind of like, this is a great setup, but I want more. I kind of hope that in the second series, because there'll inevitably be one, that they're going to kind of run with what they have and just kind of do something a little bit different with it. So what happens in episode 7 and 8, it's basically the culmination of all the kind of plot threads being pulled together. We're trying to find out who the creature is, what's going on there, you know, who's behind the conspiracy. We're trying to find out about these kind of ancestral people that used to that founded the school, and how like Wednesday's ancestors fit into that narrative, and all these kind of things. So for the next few minutes, there's going to be spoilers. So I'm going to spoil the ending of the show. So if you don't want to sort of know what happens, skip to this time code just down here, and we'll go from there. So, effectively what happens in Series 7 is that Fester comes back! Yay! Uncle Fester's here, and he's brilliant. I love all the scenes with Uncle Fester in it, and when he's interacting with Wednesday and things like that, and how Uncle Fester kind of interacts with the kind of local townspeople and all that kind of stuff. Brilliant! But then we've got to go back to the old plot line of the mystery and who's killing everyone, and along the way, with the help of Uncle Fester, we kind of discover the name of what the monster is. I can't quite remember what it was called now. What was the name of it? Oh, I've just remembered. It was called a Hyde, as in Jekyll and Hyde. So the creature's a Hyde. The Hyde has a master. So now that there are two bad guys we're looking for, we need to know who the Hyde is, because it's like a werewolf thing. So it's a person but changes into a Hyde. And then who controls the Hyde? Obviously, Wednesday's on it like sort of Nancy Drew character. So you've got this like high school student solving all these crimes in the real world for reasons. I mean, surely that's what the police and detectives are for. I mean, anyway, so yeah, so she's on the case. She's discovering all these new like little revelations, and that character, and but that person was there then, and so we've got a million red herrings. There's the whole plot with her and her boyfriend. Will they? Won't they? That kind of thing. That's stereotypical. That's the kind of stuff that I don't like. And then it all comes together. We get some red herrings. They get kind of disavowed. And then we find out what happens and who's behind all this and what's going on and who is the Hyde in a very contrived way. So essentially, spoiler alert, she does have her first high school kiss with her boyfriend, Tyler, who's the coffee kid, the guy that works at the coffee shop. And as soon as she kisses him, she has a flashback or a vision, I guess is what you call it. And it just straight out says that he's the Hyde. So that was how they chose to reveal that like really important piece of information. Something that we've been thinking about almost the entire, first season. And it's just done in a flash dream sequence. Sort of, he's the Hyde. So I wasn't impressed with that. And then we also find out who the controller is, who's the mastermind behind this whole scheme. And it's Christina Ricci's character. Yes, I was going to say the original Wednesday, but the Wednesday from the movies, that actor. I can't remember she's the school therapist or psychologist, and she's very cardigan wearing, very nice and very affable, but she's the actual villain. And then it's just a case of Christina Ricci battling against Jenna Ortega for the right to basically run the school and to either murder all the students because they're outsider weirdos, or save them and protect and save the school and be the saviour. Who's going to win? Well, Wednesday wins. I mean, of course she was going to win. I'm going to be looking forward to the second season. So, for me, this is a good run-up. This is a good start for a show that has potential. This season has been a bit of a slog. It's been very up and down, and it's just been very standard in certain respects. Like I say, the gore, the acting, the character interactions, brilliant, and then the plot and the setting has just been troped to all hell. And I'm looking forward, and I'm hoping that one, we'll see more of the Addams family in season 2, and 2, that whatever the overarching plot's going to be, it's going to have a bit more imagination and a bit more to it. But that's my review for Wednesday. It's okay. If you're a massive Addams Family fan and you're a die-hard fan, you're not going to enjoy this. If, however, you kind of like Harry Potter, or you like those kind of Riverdale kind of TV shows, and you might want to see like a kind of fantastical high school teenage thing set in a darker world with a bit of gore and a bit of something to it, a bit of bite to it, if you will, then you're going to find some value in this show. To me, it's just a bit of a mixed bag, but it's more on the side of things. So that was my review for Wednesday. More to come. More, hopefully more reviews, more current contemporary movie horror reviews coming at you very, very soon. That's a promise. But until then, guys, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Wigs.